Holy shit. Sitting here now with the disgrace of a franchise that's been burned to the ground from within. Fall from grace. 6-time Lombardi championship, greatest franchise to ever exist in the Pittsburgh Steelers, is sitting here now as a complete fucking disaster. Complete fucking disaster. The franchise of the Steel Curtain, 4 Super Bowls through the 70s. The amazing defenses of the early 2000s has now become an absolute complete fucking joke and laughing stock. And it starts at the top with Mr. Art Rooney II. It starts with him tearing this franchise down from within. And how was he doing that? Through Mike Tomlin. By giving this man, Mike Tomlin, the keys to the franchise. Essentially, the key to the city forever. Forever. Never going to fire this man until he decides to quit. At this rate, with all the medical advancements, I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach T as the head coach of the Steelers in 2084. When this man is hundreds of years old, walking around these sidelines with his blank stare up at the scoreboard, and we probably still won't have won a playoff game. We're looking at almost a decade in between playoff wins. You think that's bad? We could be looking at a century by then. Coach Tomlin, what's he doing? Hiring some puppet as a defensive coordinator, a Terrell Austin, who's not doing shit. We don't know what he does, where he is. Is this man even a real person? Do we have a real defensive coordinator? Who the fuck knows? And then on the offensive side, what have we done? Giving this man with his little dirty stash, his little dirty porn stash ass, Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator position after failing his way out of Atlanta. And we're sitting here running this 1960s JV style offense. Running this 1960s JV style offense with no consistent running attack. It would be one thing if we were out here running the wishbone, some power football, maybe like the Sandlot Steelers from the 20s and 30s, maybe getting some yards. I could support that, some rough and tough grind and pound. But what are we doing? We're out here getting no push consistently, not running the ball well consistently, and throwing these dink and dunk screen passes on the edges. Come on, man. My JV team down at West Allegheny ran a better offense than that in 2009. And we're sitting here watching this with the Pittsburgh Steelers, thinking that this is going to get us somewhere? Come on, man. This is going to get us nowhere. Nowhere. You're playing yourself if you think this sorry-ass defense under Terrell Austin and Coach Tomlin and this 1960s JV offense under Arthur Smith is going to win a damn thing. So what are we doing? What are we doing? We are being mediocre. This sorry offense has the entire city of Pittsburgh clamoring for a number 2 receiver. Has everybody clamoring for a number 2 receiver. We don't have a number 1 receiver. DK Metcalf on the outside looking soft as shit, getting beat on every combat ball, giving interceptions up down the field when he could go up there and grab that. He could go up there and grab that. We need a number 1 receiver. On the CBS broadcast, they put up a graphic. 10 different Steelers pass catchers have caught a touchdown this year. At first, you might think, dang, they're spreading the ball around good. The guys are getting involved. But it's a sign that we don't have a single dependable pass catcher to make plays consistently. Not one single dependable pass catcher to make plays consistently. One of those 10 receivers to catch a touchdown was Connor Heyward's bridge troll ass waddling up from under the Warhol Bridge to catch a touchdown with his little baby gremlin hands. We have Connor Heyward waddling up from under the Warhol Bridge with his bridge troll ass to catch a touchdown from Aaron Rodgers with his baby gremlin hands. What is this man doing on our roster? Nobody can answer that question. You're telling me now in Pittsburgh you get a roster spot Because your brother is an aging interior defensive line veteran who gets shredded up the middle every time it matters. Every time it matters. Giving up the most ever rushing yards in the first half in her last playoff game to Baltimore. And you're at the center of that, Cameron. You know you are. I did not forget what Leonard Fournette and Blake Bortles did to you on your home field down at Heinz Field in 2018. I did not forget about that. And you're telling me now your brother gets a participation spot on the team because of you? What are we doing? You're telling me that Connor is on the roster as a tight end with his little baby gremlin hands because of his older brother. So what? He can go out there, be on special teams, and run the tush push when we're offsides on it half the time anyway? You're telling me Connor Heyward is on the team with his bridge troll ass so he can run the single gayest play in NFL history. Let me get my hands real close and up and under the taint of the center and have another grown man come push me from my buttocks so I can try to gain an inch. Get my hands up under the taint of the center and have this grown man Darnell come up from behind me and push me so I can get an inch. Get that shit out of here. That is a disaster. So yes, we have a long way to go. There's a lot of questions, not a lot of answers. We need a number one receiver. Mr. Conman himself and Mike T didn't do that. Well, Mr. Rooney's sitting on his hands at the top. Sitting on his hands at the top. Meanwhile, a guy like Davante Adams was out here available all off season, signing with the LA Rams, who are now looking like the greatest show on turf. Like back with Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt and the boys and Isaac Bruce looking like the greatest show on turf. Davante Adams leading the NFL in touchdowns with 12. You're telling me we got 10 different receivers to catch a touchdown. Come on, man. One of them being Connor Heyward, the little gremlin ass. We should honestly throw Connor Heyward a parade here in Pittsburgh for catching that touchdown. Have his brother Cam come and give him a trophy, give him a certificate to be a Steelers player for life, have a roster spot for life. So Connor can be out there as a grandpa gremlin with grandpa Coach Tomlin on the sidelines with the sorry-ass Steelers still not winning a playoff game. This is a bunch of garbage, man. Come on now. But everybody wants to talk about the problems. I don't see many people out here talking about the solution. Let me tell you, I have a solution for you. There's a man out there right now who can solve these problems on offense and be that number one receiver in his prime. You're telling me Nate Stradamus, who is that? Who's out there as a free agent right now who can be the number one over DK Metcalf's soft ass? Well, let me tell you, his name will be here raised in the rafters one day. One of the greatest wide receivers in the NFL history coming out here and dominating the league for a decade. Who might that be? All the analysts want to talk about, we need somebody to win routes one-on-one. We don't have any good route running receivers. We need somebody who can come out here and dot these defensive backs up and get open down the field. There's somebody out there right now to do that, and it's Mr. Big Chest himself, Antonio Brown, number 84. It is Mr. Big Chest himself, Antonio Brown, Tony Toe Tap himself, out there and available. And you want to tell me, oh, Nate, we can't bring back AB. He's too much of a distraction. Shut the fuck up. Look at what happened with George Pickens. Too much of a distraction. Too much of a distraction. Now he's out there with the Dallas Cowgirls, leading the NFL in receiving pretty near. Out there dotting guys up. Come on now. And you want to tell me that we can't bring back Antonio Brown because of an attempted murder charge? Have we gotten so soft here in Pittsburgh that we've decided that we're going to be mediocre and not sign a guy because of an attempted murder charge? Come on. Do we want to win? Do we want to win? What happened over there in Tampa? You're telling me, oh, Antonio's a distraction. Well, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers brought in Antonio, and what happened? They got number 7. And Tom Brady got number 7 to surpass every franchise in Super Bowl rings. Yes, the Steelers are the gold standard, or have been, with 6 Lombardis, the most of any franchise. And shut your ass up telling me that New England and their deflating, spying pervert asses tied us. No, they didn't. Everybody knows those rings are fake. But Tom Brady left that cheating ass franchise and got number 7 because Antonio Brown came. And he came in multiple ways. Yes, he was banging Giselle on the side. Antonio Brown came in multiple ways. Yes, he was banging Giselle on the side. Was Giselle's side piece while he was living in the home with Tom and Giselle. But at least they got number 7. At least Tom got number 7. And Antonio got his first ring. Yes, Tom and Giselle lost the ring. Yes, their marriage was torn apart because Antonio was banging her on the side. But Tom Brady got ring number 7. And now Antonio Brown is sitting there. Yes, he was extradited from Abu Dhabi. Well, he's probably shown his junk at the pool again. Brought back to Miami to face an attempted murder charge. But come on, man. He was released. 25 bans, and he was released. We could bring him in. That will be the roster bonus. On your first touchdown pass, we pay your bail. $25,000 bonus on your first touchdown pass. You're a free man. We pay your bail. He could surpass Devontae Adams within the first 6 games. Catching 12 touchdown passes. Come on. Out here, Tony toe tapping down the sideline, winning combat balls, doing what he does. Catching footballs, making plays. Do we want to sit here and miss the playoffs, or do we want to win? That is what we have to ask ourselves. Yes, he ruined Tom and Giselle's marriage, but they got a ring. He could come in here and live with Aaron Rodgers for all I give a damn. Aaron Rodgers sitting out there with a fake wife. We're talking about, is his wife real or is his wife fake? Does she exist or is she a figment of his and our imaginations? We can finally find that out by knowing if Antonio Brown is banging her or not. If he moves in with Aaron Rodgers to try to help us lift Lombardi number 7, and there's no talk about him banging Aaron Rodgers' wife, then we know she is fake. We know she is fake. If he comes in and immediately it's released that he's banging Aaron Rodgers' wife, then we know she's real. Yes, the marriage might not last a year. It might end immediately, but at least we would have known that she was real, and we will get to lift Lombardi number 7. We're here in the North, the AFC North. We want to be kings of the North. And we're sitting here worried about optics? When we're playing football on the gridiron here in the Steel City? Risking our lives every Sunday for CTE? Risking our futures? Yes, Antonio already got CTE from the Bungles and Perfect. But we got payback with Juju. Yes, Antonio Brown risked his health and got CTE for the Steel City, but we got payback with Juju. You're looking at those dirty bungles from the early 2000s. Yes, half their roster was convicted felons, but nobody remembers that. At least they were finally winning some football games. Of course, the Bungles are a cursed franchise who will never win a Lombardi in the history of their existence, but they hired some convicted felons and won some playoff games. And now we're talking about an attempted murder charge. Attempted. We're going to sit here and criticize somebody for grabbing the gun out of the security guard's holster when somebody was trying to yank his chain? We're going to act like he's guilty for that? What would you do if somebody was trying to yank your chain backstage of some underground Misfits boxing event? And there's a security guard sitting there with his fat ass doing nothing. You got to take matters into your own hands. That's what Mr. Big Chest does. Grab the gun out of the security guard's holster and throw a couple shots in the air. Let them rip so they know we mean business. Let them rip so they know we mean business. What are you going to do if somebody tries yanking your chain? You're going to sit there, or you're going to grab the gun out of the security guard's holster and light some shots in the air? Attempted. Nobody died. We want to be kings of the North. He can come back, give us a shot in the leg all the way to the Super Bowl. Speaking about needing a receiver and a shot in the leg, we might as well bring back Plexico Burress. Yes, he shot himself in the quadricep at a New York City nightclub, but at least they got to the Super Bowl. At least Plexico Burress got them to the Super Bowl. Antonio Brown would be available. He's not going to shoot himself. He's just going to let a couple rip in the air so they know the deal. Speaking of the North and attempted murderer, Ray Lewis killed a man. Ray Lewis actually killed a man. We're not talking attempted. He killed a man, and they won a Super Bowl. Ray Lewis took another man's life, and they won a Super Bowl. And we're sitting here talking about an attempted murder. Nobody died. He let him rip into the air. We pay the $25,000 bail. We pay his lawyer fees. That man beats the case. He gets Lombardi 2. We get Lombardi 7. We get Lombardi 7. So you tell me, Pittsburgh, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to sit here for optics when we're out here on the gridiron risking our lives for CTE and say, oh, we're too good to hire a man who has an attempted murder charge, even though he was the greatest receiver in Steelers history, dotting DBs up, lighting the league on fire, dominating the league for a decade? Come on, look at yourself in the mirror. Y'all are a bunch of bums. If we had 11 Antonio Brown attempted murdering ass players on the field, we would win every game because that man knows how to play football. He'd be out there toe tapping, dotting DBs up down the field for touchdowns. If Aaron Rodgers can put it on the money and dime these DBs up for a touchdown to Connor Heyward with his baby Gremlin hands, think about what he would do with AB while he's dotting these DBs up and Aaron Rodgers is diming him up in the end zone for a touchdown. So let me know. Like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments. When are we bringing Antonio back? And when are we cutting Connor Heyward and his participation spot off the roster? Give that money to AB and let's win number 7.